Hi everyone, I am the Sarcastic Sloth, and welcome to my channel. So it's a quick turnaround again for me today. We're going to be talking about Hairbyjay, or as we call him on this channel, Jeffree Star's hair minion. He actually came back with an apology, did a live stream. Again, didn't learn, I guess. We're going to go through some clips that I've taken from that. The part 2 to this video is basically Trisha and her relationship with Shane Dawson, believe it or not. So without further ado, let's crack on. So as per usual, everything I'm going to be saying in today's video are my own thoughts and opinions on the topic, and if you do not like that, then ta-ra! So diving right in, we're just going to have a little look at these clips that I've extracted. I got them from Def Noodles on his Twitter. We're going to have a little look at what I would consider the greatest hits.
That it was going to be taken and screen recorded and reposted. I just didn't think it was going to be recorded and taken to this magnitude.
See, I think differently. I think you knew that it was going to go to that level, but I think that you thought, because one, Jeffree Star is your boss, and two, Trisha has the reputation that she does, I think that you thought you'd get away with it. But when you found out that that wasn't the case, that people weren't going to jump on board your really disgusting train of just outward hate, then I think you cacked your pants. And then on top of that, I've got no doubt in my mind that Jeffree Star told you he doesn't need this kind of drama because he's trying to cultivate this image of being aloof and above everything at the moment, so you better apologise pretty bloody quickly. That's what I think about that.
I reacted to a thing, to a situation, the best way that I know how to react to it. Am I saying it's the right way? No. It's not the right way for many people, especially many people that have never experienced or seen anybody react to it the way that I reacted to it.
See, now this here is just infuriating, because not only did you identify that it's not the best way to react to it, but then you're also saying that it's the best way that you know how. So I think what we can take away from that particular aspect of things is that you need to seek some kind of help in that regards. You obviously are not very good at dealing with your emotions and also being able to convey that in a way that is just basically not disgusting, because all that came out of that live stream from you was just bile and sludge. There was just nothing redeeming about it whatsoever. It basically took away from the fact that you were trying to defend yourself. It looked like you were just basically having a fat go at someone, and on top of that, is the best way that you know how to deal with subjects to dox their business address and their phone number? Is that what you call the best way that you know how? It's just ridiculous, man. That's a ridiculous notion.
I thought that I was talking about a topic, and that I was allowed to get upset the same way that other people get upset. That I was allowed to talk about it the same way that other people talk about it and express their feelings.
There's a very big difference between expressing your feelings on a subject where you feel that you've been wronged and just flat out bullying someone and shaming them and just basically picking at every single little thing that you know that that person is insecure about. This is why I think that this is very evident for a lot of people to see, that the things that you were saying were premeditated. This is not something that people come out with just on the fly. You know, if someone's like pissed off about a particular situation, they don't go for like wildly personal digs at that particular person. That is why I'm that's why I'm sold on the fact that you guys were slagging her off behind her back. Las Vegas, probably beforehand. I mean, who knows at this rate? I mean, it seems very prevalent to me that you had this all in your mind. I said it in my previous video. It looks like you've been holding on to this, and then it all exploded into one, and it came out of your mouth with an absolute quickness. The stuff you said was disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting.
The things that I said were extremely aggressive. I own up to them. I said some stuff that I maybe shouldn't have addressed in that way.
You maybe shouldn't have addressed in that way. This to me is just someone who thinks that they're absolutely right, but it's my opinion that he has just been flat out told, you will apologize and you will do it publicly and you will say X, Y, and Z, because Jeffree, quite frankly, doesn't want any of this malarkey on his doorstep. Like I said, he's trying to cultivate this sort of above it all, holier than thou image at the moment. Very interesting that you decided to do your apology in front of that that crucifix, man. Don't think that I didn't notice that. And to say that you don't have a problem with Trisha, then why did all of those things come out of your mouth so quickly? Like, to me, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe any of this, but I don't believe that.
So before I continue with this, let me just clarify. I never had a problem with Trisha Paytas. I'm a stay-at-home body now, especially during COVID. I haven't gone out. I definitely just reacted the way that anybody I felt would have reacted to something that they felt wasn't 100% accurate.
Don't put your disgusting reactions out on everyone. That's the funny thing that he tried to do there. He tried to humanize himself, which obviously he is a human, but he tried to do so in a way where it's like, I just reacted in a way that everyone would react. The reason why this became such a big thing, not just with Trisha, but for everyone who is just absolutely pissed off about this, because it is abnormal. It's not a normal way to react to a situation like that. I don't know, I just find it very funny to me that he's just trying to make it seem like, oh, well, now I'm going to be a homebody. If I really wanted to nitpick, I'd say, well, why is it only now, mate? Why is it only now? But, you know, also as well, I'll put it to you this way. I've been in lockdown since February last year. You don't see me or anyone else just going off the hinge and just verbally attacking someone and threatening someone because, what, you got a bit of cabin fever, is it? This whole apology is an absolute joke, man, and anyone who believes it is just as foolish as the person who came up with it. Absolutely 100%. That's all I've got to say on that. I think I've said my piece. So moving on from that non-apology, we'll talk about what's happening with Trisha at the moment. So the big hubbub last night in terms of Trisha was that she and Shane unfollowed each other. Of course, drama channels pop their videos out because, you know, they stayed up a little bit later than I do, I guess. Trisha then followed that up with a tweet, which I'll pop up here, but ultimately it just states that she blocked Shane and blocked Ryland too because she didn't want any kind of drama. And then released a video that basically stated that she felt very let down by Shane, that she feels that Shane didn't actually have her back at any point throughout the course of this. After the fabled Las Vegas trip, Shane was aware of all of this 2 days later and has never really addressed it at all, never had her back, even though with Trisha to Shane, she had his back just completely blindly. Actual ride or die friend, in the sense that even if it came back on her negatively, she always had Shane's back, no matter what. I actually think, you know, regardless of Trisha and her problematic behaviour, that is actually quite an endearing part of her. It's a trait that you want in any friend, really. It's something that I knew, it's something that a lot of other people knew, that Shane basically just values dollars over friends. In my opinion, I feel like he's quite a sneaky and manipulative guy, but basically uses people so that he can get to the top, so that he can make the most amount of money that he possibly can, which you could say on one level, everyone's just trying to make their buck and whatever, but I think when you're just consistently stepping over other people, you know, like with Eugenia, put her in the limelight without any kind of like regard to what that would actually do to her. So basically Trisha was just very disappointed the fact that her friends have never been there for her. I mean, you can look as recently as having Jeffree Star on Ryland's podcast 2 times in recent memory. If your friend was just carrying on with the person who's making you feel like that, I think you would be pretty pissed off too, wouldn't you? So it looks like Trisha is basically distancing herself from that entire group. I think that she'll be better off for it. Whether or not that'll change her problematic behaviour in terms of how she addresses her own YouTube persona or business or anything of that nature is yet to be seen, but I think in terms of her own personal mental well-being, for anyone, it's probably better not to be around those guys as much as you can anyway, because they're just completely, as it's been evident throughout the course of 2020 and now, out for themselves. Also probably a good thing for her too, that she was able to get this sort of wake-up call, as it were. Where do you think this is going to go next? This has been a pretty crazy weekend. I'm going to be watching Twitter over the course of tonight with great interest to see exactly what comes about. You can follow me at the Saki Sloth YT. It's 3 videos in as many days, so obviously as a sloth I'm absolutely knackered. No, I'm joking. It's been fun. If you want to comment, pop them down below. If you want to like the video, very much appreciated. If you subscribed, then that would be banging, but otherwise, stay safe out there.